Highland Song is a story about a girl named Moira who, after receiving a letter from her uncle, decides to run away from home on a mission to return to the coast. But does the game coast to greatness, or is it all downhill from here? Let's find out in our full review. Before we head off into the hills, why not reach new heights over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where you can gain access to our Discord community, early and ad-free shows, a new podcast, shoutouts at the end of every video we produce, and even free games depending on your tier. Your community is waiting for you. Now, I'm not quite over the hill yet, but the stresses of everyday life sure make me feel like it sometimes. Thankfully, the hills in A Highland Song are a little easier to navigate than the complicated, winding roads life tends to throw at us. Well, maybe not actually. A Highland Song presents an engaging story interwoven with fascinating Scottish lore, history, and mythical elements. It is a tale that manages to remain captivating throughout. Dialogue is definitely a testament to the developer's brilliance, resonating with depth, particularly Moira's revelations about her origins sprinkled throughout, and the further you travel, the more you learn about her story. Players will guide Moira through a variety of different paths, some of which feature grave dangers for you to overcome. Most of your journey involves platforming in hopes of keeping Moira safe, since she is only human after all, and can be easily harmed by the environments that she finds herself in. Being too impulsive with your running and jumping will often lead to an untimely death, which means, you guessed it, doing the same sections over and over. The Scottish Highlands also have intense weather that you will need to deal with. From rain to snow, the elements can cause harm to Moira, so finding shelter when bad weather happens or throughout the night is crucial to your success. Basically, Mother Nature hates you in this game and wants you dead as soon as possible. When speaking of the more rhythm-based portions of the game, they are extremely well done, with a stirring soundtrack composed of Lawrence Chapman alongside Talisk and Fourth Moon. The music is absolutely gorgeous, and I selfishly could have used more of these tracks. My other qualm pertaining to sound design comes from the exaggerated noises that Moira makes when she climbs around. They tend to be a bit overwhelming and distracting, detracting ever so slightly from an otherwise stellar auditory experience. That said, one of my favorite aspects of the gameplay stems from the rhythm minigame sections involving a deer, which I won't spoil any further than that, but trust me, they are an absolute blast to be a part of. All told, as a rhythm game, A Highland Song often soars, but the platforming sections didn't do all that much to inspire hope in me that I'll be improving at that particular genre of games anytime soon. I'm sorry, I'm just really not good at platforming games. I cannot help it. Visually, A Highland Song is gorgeous, at times with a charm reminiscent of Studio Ghibli style, always welcome in my book. The game also offers some really great accessibility features, including settings to prevent tripping and falling, as well as difficulty options for the rhythm elements. All told, anyone with the patience for the game's flaws, which I will get into shortly, can enjoy playing with the settings that best suits them. The controller support is also really great if you're not a mouse and keyboard person. Now, for the not so great news, A Highland Song could have greatly benefited from a map system, as I often found myself lost within the hills. Instead, the game had me matching certain peaks and mountains to over 100 different map fragments that you'll find scattered throughout the game. These eventually lead to the discover of new and often more efficient paths. It's a pretty cool idea, but it honestly wasn't very helpful as far as getting me to where I needed to go to progress. Without a properly implemented map system and no set direction to progress, I was constantly getting turned around, making it feel nearly impossible to get back on track. Even worse, the Highlands have quite a few areas that look identical to one another, so more often than once I found myself wondering, have I been here before? Is this area something new? Am I going the right way? And so on. I also found some areas rather difficult to climb, with certain paths being part of the foreground and others in the background, and the colors that are all kind of the same. It is required to awkwardly tilt the analog stick in the correct direction, which doesn't always work as well as one would hope. All told, A Highland Song is a commendable but flawed effort. While I enjoyed the rhythm-based sections, the platforming did leave a bit to be desired. Keep in mind though, like I said, I am not the platforming queen, but I at least consider my skills to be competent in this department enough, and I did struggle on more than one occasion just trying to find my way. The lack of a proper map system was also frustrating, but patient players willing to endure these setbacks will find a gorgeous set of compositions, some lovely visuals, and enjoyable rhythm-based segments. In the end, I can't say with full confidence that A Highland Song is an amazing game, but it definitely flirts with the idea. The Scottish lore is really awesome to learn about, and the graphics are gorgeous.